Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. It is time for another round of in-depth candle reviews, and I have 3 candles that are ready to go for today. So we're going to be taking a little journey through each of these 3 fragrances. All 3 are from Yankee Candle. And if you are interested in more of my home fragrance related content, such as these in-depth candle reviews, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button before checking out of today's video. But if you have been with my channel for a little bit of time here, you are aware of my Yankee Candle history. If you're new, I used to burn a lot of Yankee candles, actually starting way back in 1997 when I purchased my first one. It was probably around 2015, 2016 that I really started the process of kind of pulling back from Yankee Candle, but it was 2018 that I really kind of made a hard stop. That was when we sold our first home and purchased this house here. And because of the amount of paraffin candles, mostly Yankee, that I burned in our old house, it just created a lot of like pretty severe sooting issues in the house. I had to repaint everything. I'm talking doors, I'm talking walls, ceilings. We had to replace the carpets. It was just a mess, but it was something that we had to do prior to selling that house. And when we moved into this house, I swore to myself that I would never, burn candles that were like obnoxiously messy ever again. So I had just kind of written Yankee off at that point, but my friends Brett and Connor have kind of been on me to give Yankee another chance because they did introduce their, they have a soy blend formulation, which is what is in this jar here. And it is vastly different from their paraffin formulation. So I've actually had a pretty good experience. Well, there's some ups, there's some downs. We'll discuss with each fragrance, obviously, that I recently purchased, but for the most part, I have to admit that I am really actually impressed with the burn quality of this soy blend formulation here. It is so much cleaner, you guys. Now I have been limiting the burn on these candles, and we'll get into all of that, but I just kind of wanted you guys to have a little bit of a heads up about why I have decided to give Yankee another chance. Listen, if a company is going to improve their product, then I'm totally happy to circle back around and, spend my money with them again. And if they've got great smelling stuff that has a good quality burn, then I'll enjoy that, sure. Get into my house. So anyway, that's where you guys are going to be seeing some Yankee Candle reviews again. So I plan on placing another order in the next couple of months. If you have some more fragrance suggestions for me, please leave those in the comments down below. At the top of the description box, I will put a link to where you can purchase Yankee Candle Pink Sands, which is obviously the fragrance that we are discussing in this video here. I'm starting with this Pink Sands because this is a fragrance that it's not at all new to Yankee. This has been around for a very long time. In fact, I've kind of had a mental note about this scent for a while here, just because I've been told in the past that it is a little bit of a dupe for Bath & Body Works Flamingo Beach, which, oh my gosh, I loved so much. So I've kind of been thinking about this fragrance for a while. And you guys, it is so good. This is a really sweet, juicy, fruity, like summertime concoction. It's just a really happy fragrance. And honestly, out of the 5 candles that I purchased, this one I think has quickly become #1. I expected the Capri Glow to be my favorite. We're discussing that one today, by the way. But you know what has taken the top spot is this Pink Sands, which again, not new, has been out for a while, but oh my gosh, if you have never tried this, what an amazing scent. Okay, we're gonna go through, sorry, I kicked the camera. We're gonna go through the usual review process here. I'm going to go ahead and read you read you a little bit about the fragrance. Obviously, you know, we'll talk about the in-depth fragrance notes. I'll tell you what my nose predominantly smells, how this compares to the Flamingo Beach. We'll discuss strength and throw, and then we'll get into the burn quality. This is something I'm really going to focus on with these Yankee reviews, because this is something that was always kind of my biggest concern as I was winding down with Yankee back in the day. So the burn quality is something that's really important to me. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that. So obviously this here is the, what do they call this? The two wick 20-ounce signature large tumbler candle. They've got a lot of different candle styles now. This one definitely appealed the most to me. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kringle 2-wick jars. So, all right, let's get into this here. Pink Sands is the exotic island escape you've always dreamed of. Juicy melon scents are softened by gentle aromas of osmanthus, giving you space to relax and clear your mind. Warm base notes enriched by a touch of jasmine complete the sense of paradise. The top notes are citrus, melon, and berry. The mid notes are osmanthus. Just one, just got an osmanthus in there. The base is spicy vanilla, musk, and woody notes. All right, and then their kind of short description of this fragrance is that it consists of lush flowers, sweet fruits, and sun-warmed sand. Sounds delightful, right? Okay, so what am I smelling here? First of all, at the top, there is a healthy dose of melon in here. I feel like I get kind of a mix of like a cantaloupe and a little bit of honeydew at the very top. That citrus definitely is a very close second there. I feel like the citrus that I get from this is just like a little touch of lemon, like a really fresh squeezed lemon, and then also a small touch of almost like a mix of an orange and a grapefruit, kind of like in between those two. So those are the citrus notes that kind of pop into my mind when I'm smelling this fragrance. The berry note that I'm smelling, I feel like there is definitely kind of a slight berry vibe to this one, but it's not super distinct. I wouldn't say it was right off the bat like a raspberry or a strawberry, maybe a little mix of the two, but there's not a whole lot of berry here. For me, that focus at the top is mostly the two melons that I mentioned, and then that mix of citrus with just maybe a little tiny hint of like a raspberry strawberry, but nothing super potent there. The osmanthus. If you are not familiar with osmanthus, it is a, hold on here. This is a broad-leaf evergreen shrub or small tree native to East Asia. I'm obviously reading this off the internet, but this is basically like a bush that has these really beautiful creamy white flowers that bloom in clusters. This is an intensely fragrant floral note. It's somewhat similar to like magnolia or gardenia. So very sweet, a very intensely sweet fragrance. And it can also sometimes smell, outside of just that, you know, like that kind of comparison to the gardenia and the, what was the other note that I just said? Magnolia, there we go. On top of smelling slightly floral, it can also come off as a little bit of like a stone fruit, like apricot type scent. So it just kind of depends on, you know, what type of oil you're getting, how you're using it, what you're blending it with. It can kind of come off in a few different ways, essentially. So for me, however, in this particular fragrance, I feel like I get a little bit of that really intense, almost like borderline, like frangipani, like tropical sweetness. And then a little bit of like that apricot. Like I feel like there's some apricot in here as well. Really, really pleasant. I like that osmanthus note a lot. Where this one goes a little funky for me is at the base. Listen, spicy vanilla. I would not describe this fragrance as having any spicy vanilla in it. I don't think it's particularly musky. Maybe if you're thinking like a floral musky kind of vibe, that would make sense, but not in like the usual musky kind of sense, if you will. And the woody notes, I don't get anything woody here. Listen, for the most part, this smells very fruity. It smells very sweet. There's some definite like sweet floral components as well to this. But mostly think tropical, think kind of fruity, think very vibrant, lively, fun. It's a really beautiful, pardon that brief interruption there. I had to let the dogs out. I want to briefly compare this fragrance to Flamingo Beach from Bath & Body Works. I think the two are incredibly similar. I do think the addition of that osmanthus note in the Pink Sands here is what maybe makes the Pink Sands a little bit more special. What I liked about the Flamingo Beach was that intense, like tropical sweet fruitiness. Just again, a very happy, very vibrant fragrance, just like Pink Sands. But I think the addition of the osmanthus here with the Pink Sands is what makes this one stand out to me a little bit more. I think I might be an osmanthus girly because that note just really grabs my attention in this one. It's really beautiful. I am starting to embrace florals a little bit more than I have in the past. And this is just such a lovely fragrance. And that floral component, I think, is kind of what makes maybe this Pink Sands so special. But if Bath & Body Works would like to bring back Flamingo Beach, I would totally buy it. I mean, that's a great fragrance too. But I think for me, I really love this, and I will definitely see myself repurchasing this particular fragrance. Let's discuss the strength and the throw. Listen, this is giving me such a good, solid medium performance. My personal preference is that my candles are somewhere in the range of a minimum of 6 in terms of strength and throw, but ideally somewhere around an 8 or a 9. For me, in this house here, which is more of an open concept, high ceiling type situation, I typically burn 2 candles at a time. Sometimes I will do as many as 3, but typically 2 candles at a time is the max that I'm burning. And I will usually have 1 candle towards the front of the house, 1 towards the back part of the house. And the idea is that if I get something in the range of like a 6, 7, 8 in terms of strength and throw, that's typically potent enough to where that fragrances the entire downstairs of the house. So the candle at the back part of the house takes care of the back part. The candle at the front of the house takes care of the front part of the house. And then if they meet in the middle and they coordinate really nicely and create an amazing combination, that is fantastic. But for me, bare minimum, if I'm getting a strength and throw of somewhere between, like I said, a 6, 7, or an 8, that is what I would consider a good strength and throw. I am getting a solid 7 in terms of strength and throw from this particular Pink Sands. It has really been a solid performer, and it's been a solid performer from the very first time that I lit this one up. I cannot say that about the candle that we're going to be seeing in the next review, but this one here, from the moment that I lit it up, by the way, I did not trim the original wicks. I left them as is. It has just been performing like a champ. And I don't know if you guys can see that wax pool, but this particular wax pool here is a solid inch. Like this is solid. So really, really good strength and throw for me with this one. I am tempted. Some of you have said that the 3 wicks are even a little bit stronger. I might be tempted by the 3 wicks, but I really like the look of these 20-ounce tumbler jars. Again, they kind of remind me of the Kringles, and I just like the look of them personally. So But let's discuss the overall burn quality. This is where I want to spend just a little bit of time, because this is what the biggest difference for me is this go around. You guys, there is no sooting or discoloration in this jar at all. Like you can see here, this has had such a clean, solid burn. I'm gonna go ahead and see if this is too hot for me to like run my finger. This has been lit for about 3 hours now, so it might be kind of hot, but I'm gonna see if I can just wipe my fingers in here to see if I can show you guys how clean the side of the jar. Look at that, there's like almost nothing on my finger here. I'm kind of blown away. I mean, just based on how Yankees used to perform for me when I was purchasing their paraffin formulation to now experiencing this is a vast difference in performance. Honestly, I really like this wax blend. The wicks are very sturdy. I've been keeping them very short. Not only do I trim the wicks before each burn, I don't trim them down to a nub or anything, but I definitely trim off, I would say, a healthy portion. I also wipe the wicks with a paper towel just to remove a little bit of that carbon residue, that additional carbon residue. I then light the candle. I let them go for a maximum of about 3.5 hours. Then I extinguish them and I'm good to go. Have they been burning kind of fast? Yeah, I mean, they're definitely burning a lot faster than my Yankee candles used to when they were in the paraffin formulation. I'm okay with that. I don't actually have a problem with a somewhat fast burning candles. I feel like it's satisfying to get through a candle. So for me, that's not a concern. But yeah, you guys, the burn quality has been great. I don't have any complaints about this one. Like I said, there's no sooting, there's no discoloration. The wicks are behaving themselves. The wax pool comes on pretty quickly and evenly, and it's an even burn. Like there's nothing to complain about this one. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, that's going to be the case for every single one of these Yankees that I recently purchased. We're going to be talking about the Capri Glow next. I really love the fragrance. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that one, but we'll discuss. But the Azure Sky, which is the last one we're going to be talking about at the end of the day, that one has been fantastic, like the Pink Sands, in terms of the strength and throw. So, yeah, so far so good. I'm really pleased. It was money well spent. Listen, I don't feel like I wasted my money here at all. I'm getting, like I said, a great experience from this one. I'm really enjoying the scent. I'll be repurchasing this one when it's done. So, that is how much I like it. In fact, I mean, I shouldn't say, hey, Yankee, can you make a bigger candle? But you guys know how I feel about big Mama Jama candles. If they came out with a massive version of this, I would probably buy a massive version of it. I really like this fragrance. So, for what it's worth, 2 big fat thumbs up for Yankee Candle Pink Sands. I'm at least a convert to this one. So, thank you to those of you who have kept the pressure on me for the last several years to give Yankee Candle another try. It can be hard to go back, especially after you feel a little, you know, slighted by some of the burns of the past. But you know what? As long as, like I said, a company is willing to make some positive changes and improve some things, I'm willing to give them another try. So money well spent here. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay tuned for the remainder of the videos going live a little bit later on today. Again, subscribe if you're new, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.